Hey guys, my name is RexXxuS and I'm super excited to show you a new tool called eWSSC, Empyrion Web Solar System Creator. This tool is a web tool. It works in your browser, for example Google Chrome. It fully supports 3D and helps you to create, manage and customize your universe for Empyrion. This tool is a replacement for the old EPG tool Yasha and I made a couple of years ago. I'm sure you are used to it and a lot of you liked it. But you also sent us requests about features and overall it wasn't that convenient, right? So the last 3 weeks Hayaveen and I sit on the tool and basically completed something we could have never imagined we would, because 3D in the web was new to both of us and we are very excited, and it was super interesting and totally new for us, for both of us. So in this video here, I want to show you how to use the tool and what it can do and how you can use it basically for your universe and to create awesome, new and interesting experience for your user or for yourself. So let's get started and delete everything so we can work from scratch together. First of all, make sure to check out the About page to read about the tool, what it does, what it can, and also make sure to check out the changelog here. From time to time there will come updates, I'm sure, and for now you can see what Hayaveen and I did in the last 3 weeks. Okay, so if you first start the tool, you have a blank sheet, and like an EWPDA, you see on the top, on the bottom left, again a little introduction which tells you, hey, you can click the green button to start from scratch, basically working your way along, or import your scenario, which you can do, for example, either here on the top right or as before in the main menu. It's really the same and up to you. For me, it's of course faster to do it in the editor. So let's assume you have a scenario which does not support or does not have the multi-solar system yet, right? So let's take my scenario, Invader versus Defender, and as you can see, it's quite plain. It has only one sun because it's the old sectors system. It does not have a solar system yet. And I recommend really, before using eWSSC, make sure to click on these 3 icons here on the top left to see the documentation I have wrote for you, telling you the differences between sectors and solar systems, telling you what the main top 3 common mistakes are. Also I did the power of the sun, basically what it means if you set the type to sun, and what does it mean to import your playfields here on the top right or on the main menu. We will come to this in a minute. So as you saw at the beginning, you have the 3D view, and the second icon on the top left are the shortcuts, which I really recommend to learn them by time or check them out, because with those controls, like for example hold Control and left mouse button click on a playfield and drag it to a playfield you want to set a warplane. easy stuff, but yeah, you need to know here. Control left click to remove the warp line. But yeah, we will come to it in detail later. And the third icon is yeah, setting page. This is also controllable with the shortcuts Alt and G for the grid, which maybe helps you to make it more appealing. The Alt and H to show the axis helper here, and the Alt O shortcut for toggling the visibility of your orbit circles. Last but not least, I implemented 16 background nebulas, which might be just, you know, appealing for you if you're working a long time with the tool, and whatever fits your eye, your style, you can choose it here, or let me know what color you want instead. Okay, so let's switch back to default dark purple. Oh, and by the way, if you have set configs here, settings here, for example, you totally want a pink background and you press F5, or coming back later, you know, close the browser and coming back later, no worry, this is saved in your indexed database. Again, like in the eWPDA tutorial, I really strongly suggest to read about the local indexed database and about local storage. It just means if you press F12 and check applications, it means your data you're working with, your universe, for example, is stored on your local indexed database. So this website here, myself, I'm the owner of this website. I have no control of what you are doing. So yeah, keep this in mind, please. All right. Okay, so these three icons are very important, and to quickly cover the import playfields button, and let me switch to dark purple. So as you remember, in the EPG tool, it was the same. You had to click on the reload biomes and playfields button. What it does, or what it did, was it fetched your playfields from the scenario folder you have defined at the beginning, and based on that, they suggested you in the drop-down what playfields you want to set here. And this is basically the same for eWSSC. You have your playfields, you have your scenarios, and if you want to have a different template here, you can of course type it by hand manually, but this could mean you make mistakes. So for that, just click the import button, choose your playfields, let it upload. Yes, you can trust, as I explained. This is just a default Google Chrome warning. And now if you click on the input box, you get your suggested playfields here. This is quite handy to not make mistakes or to work with the tool faster. So Merda is the template, and by the way, always check out if something is red here. If it's red and you click on the export button, the scenario does not work. It's giving you an error. So I also mentioned it here. These are kind of in-game documentation hints. If you click it, you see what I mean. So in our case, the name is Merda, so our template is Merda. done. All right, so the left sidebar here is quite easy to understand. You have your play fields, you have your types, you have your coordinates, your color, your allow and deny values. You have also the origin, and I think a couple of people don't know what this means, but it gives you a kind of role play feature for your server. And here's the syntax, basically how to use it. In my case, if we, one second, if we check out Meldo, no, it wasn't Meldo, what was it? Athlon, yeah, Athlon. You see the origin here is defender. So Ithaka has the origin invader, and make sure the index number starts by 0 and goes up to 1, 2, 3, whatever, how many origins you have. Okay, so the coordinates are quite easy to understand, I guess. If you click, for example, to Ithaka, you see on the bottom right, this is quite handy, you see already the coordinates you are drag and dropping. If you remember EPG, you drag and dropped a play field and you hoped it lands where you want. And this was very frustrating sometimes if you wanted to create 15 AU play field distant checks, and yeah, you had to do it, you know, pixel by pixel until it's still green, so SVs can warp. And here you have it in real time. You see here the distance, and I copy it from the game, from the in-game universe map. As long as your distance is below 15 AU, it is yellow, above is orange, above 20 is red, and over 25 is white. White means it's a wormhole. Alright, I will add this also to the documentation. I just recognized it's missing. Okay, but yeah, you can drag and drop your stuff here, as I said before. You can manipulate your moons, your play fields, and a little shortcut I find quite useful is the numpad 5 key. It's also written here. It will reset your camera position and rotation. This is quite handy because you can now pen with your right mouse button, for example, or with the keyboard space C, W for zooming, S for zooming, A, D. This is also, as I said, mentioned here. So this gives you still these 2D experience, which is not that bad, you know. Like in the EPG tool, you had your front view, you had your top view, and working in 2D is sometimes still very useful to not deal with 3D camera perspectives, you know. This is sometimes not so useful. So yeah, this still gives you the 2D feeling. Okay, so what else can we say about the left sidebar? You have the colors. The colors are also represented in the new sectors, in the new universe map in the game, which will come out soon. So for example, if you don't like yellow, we have also implemented a color picker like in eWPDA. So you can choose whatever color you like. For example, kind of yellowish. So yeah, but as I said, it's up to you. Okay, so what else? I think the most requested feature from you guys was, I mean, in comparison with the old tool, the allow and deny system. It was a little bit convenient to have the playfields already listed here, but still you had to check the name, you had to scroll, you had to check what you want really. And now we, or Ven, with incredible skills, made it possible for you. For example, if you want to warp from Rasmaru to Lumi, you hold your control button and click on Rasmaru. You can release the control key now, and now you can say where do you want to set this. You can also meanwhile pen the view with the shortcuts, with the keyboard control, whatever, and now you just snap it to the playfield, to the destination playfield. So in this case we have created a warp lane of 64 AU, and if you check Rasmaru, it's of course updated in real time. Where is it? Rasmaru. You see here now, allow sector orbit, deny Ithaca galaxy. And you see this was the playfield we connected, sect. So this is very, very useful for creating wormholes, but this also includes the possibility to define allow and deny path by just simply clicking on the path. So in this case, you see it's denied. The Rasmaru has a deny to sect. This is not here because it's obvious, because it's larger than 64 AU. But if you toggle it to allow to sect, and then you see here just allow. And on the other hand, if you select sect here, or by the way, you can just double click on the playfield, you know. This is makes it a bit easier. Once you double click on the playfield, it gets automatically focus for the camera, also on the left view. So if you select sect again, you see it's allowed from UNO because this distance is too high. And yeah, this is the most requested feature we have implemented. In working with it for a few days, I can tell you it's a changer and speeding it up. To remove a warp line, by the way, just control left click on the warp line. That's it. And create it again. So it's really, really, really easy. Okay, but as I said, in the EPG tool, you had it here. This is of course also possible here. So we auto suggest playfields you have set and telling you now, okay, please allow it or don't allow it. And this is, yeah, up to you here. Okay, what else is very important is if you playing around with your types. And this is something a little bit specific to the tool. So make sure to read the documentation and just to play around with it. Because if, for example, you set a planet or playfield to sun, you have it nicely here as a sun now, and again you can colorize it as you want, but it doesn't make sense. And this is something we can't assume or detect. I mean, we implemented already a couple of checks to prevent errors, like, you know, leaving an empty name here. It shows a red border, so please don't do this. But for such things, it's just too complicated to think of every possibility you could do wrong. So make sure that in this case, this would give an error in game because you have a sun and the sun has a moon and the sun doesn't make sense at all. Especially because it's the old sector and not the solar system. Okay, but yeah, I think whoever is creating universes, I think that guy is also knowing what he's doing and don't do crazy stuff, I hope. Okay, but what is quite important to know regarding the usage is the type planet, because planet in our tool is a little bit compromised. It means as soon as you select a planet, in this case, let me rename it to Bob. Okay, Bob is a planet, and you specify the name of the planet and you set the template of the planet, Goronor. But here you have also an orbit name and an orbit template. So the tool assumes, as soon as you set planet as type, it automatically assumes that your planet in the orbit is set to 000 location, the planet. For a couple of reasons, but for us to simplify a couple of logics. Okay, so a moon doesn't matter, you can still put moons as many as you like here, as I can show you here. You can say whatever, moon 1, and I don't know, here moon 1, moon 2, and so on. And it doesn't matter now. And you can change the locations of them. That's also okay. That's good. But if you want to change the location of your planet to not have it set to 000 for whatever creative or strange reasons, you can't do it. You have to set the type here to orbit, and now set the planet inside here to to the name you had before. Okay. I think this is quite logical, and I don't have to mention it so in such a detail. But yeah, just keep this in mind. All right, what else we have? We have covered a lot of hotkeys. These one is missing actually. The warp lines are done, but the other one can only be shown with the solar system. So let's assume we want to create a very simplified new solar system. You can double click on the solar sun. You can toggle the center again, and yeah, as I said, you can drag around it as you want. So let's say we have here our new solar system. We call it Invader Sun. It's automatically have the template sun, which is also very important to do. Check the documentation about the sun. And inside the sun, inside this system, we have now a couple of planets, moons, orbits, etc. So let's say here we have, I don't know, an event planet. And the planet needs, of course, an orbit. It doesn't matter now what we set here, but okay, we don't want to have it connected to the old sectors here, right? This is something new and fresh. So we have this, and we add also another sun, which, let's say, Defender Sun. The Defender Sun, let's say, is yeah, maybe near the Invader one. And here we add a planet as well, and call it, I don't know, black hole again. Oh, well, not again, because if you have a playfield name with a duplicate name, you get an error. So always make sure to have unique names. So whatever was the orbit name, orbit template, again, it doesn't matter for now. I just want to show you visually what's happening here. So let's toggle to 2D view. And the last hotkey I want to show you is if you want to, you have it here on the left sidebar, but what happens if you want this planet here inside this solar system? And for that we implemented a smart hotkey which works like this. You left mouse button, hold and click to drag around your planet, and now press and hold the shift button. And the shift button automatically checks the nearby solar system and snapping it to it. So this planet is now snapped to the invader sun. We can snap the other planet now away to the defender sun. You see here on the left, it's always reflected. And this is basically how you can snap now to different solar systems. This also works with old sectors from the top here, including moons. It doesn't matter. All right, yeah, this is basically all hotkeys I wanted to show you. Again, this is just the helpers. And yeah, if you move the sun, you move automatically everything inside the sun. It's also quite obvious, I think. But yeah, just for you to know. As I said already, on the bottom right, you have the coordinates showing you instantly where you are dragging it. And last but not least, regarding the left sidebar here, let me check. Oh yeah, one thing is missing. For me, it was very important to have, so rearrangement of your stuff, right? So like in the eWPDA tool, just left mouse button, hold and drag it around to move it, Just keep in mind, of course, that you can't drag a planet inside a planet, You can only do it with moons, obviously. Yeah, simple stuff, I think. All right, yeah, this is basically it regarding the usage, regarding the hotkeys here. It's up to you now, of course, to create awesome universes, but the last step maybe is to export it, right? And this is, well, quite obvious. You just export what you did to the proper scenario folder. So in this case, it was the invader versus defender scenario. So you just go to your scenarios, you select your invader versus defender scenario and export it over the sectors YAML of your scenario. Just keep in mind the style will be different, the YAML will be passed, so every comment you had in your file will be stripped away. Keep this in mind. Of course, it could potentially export something which is not valid. I did a bunch of tests and so far it's working perfectly. At least if you imported a valid universe which worked before you imported it. But if you export a universe and after the export, without touching anything here on the left sidebar or here, and it does not work, please let me know in the forum and I will check it out. Okay, I think that's it. And again, I'm really excited about your feedback and what you will create with it. Again, it was 3 very hard weeks. We worked on it day and almost night. It was very, very cool to create 3D in a web. So yeah, we hope you like it, and please leave a comment below if you like it or what you think about it. Leave a comment in the forum. I really like to read your feedback, good or bad, and I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you like, you can subscribe to my channel here to get notified about upcoming tutorials and features about the game itself I have planned for 2020. Alright, that's it, and I hope you enjoyed, and have a nice day.